former pro soccer player, now NFL weapon. Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way, it is good!
Giants really are something special. Denver, the Saints, the Cowboys. 3 games with distinct yet familiar outcomes. 2 of them in which may perhaps be the largest losses that any team faces on the 2025 season. GMen allowing 20 points scored by the Cowboys in the 4th quarter. Brandon Aubrey's 2 huge bomb field goals, 1 in overtime, leading to the walk-off victory. The Saints' 5 turnover performance, with Brian Daboll buffoonery on full display. Unprepared, ill-prepared clownery on the field. And then, of course, the one that takes the cake, the collapse. Denver Broncos, 33 points given up in the 4th quarter alone. An historic meltdown, unseen and unmatched of the likes. The G-men have been at this for a hot minute, and it's led to some bad outcomes on the field. 90% win chance, out the window. 18 points down in the final quarter. Watch the Giants make monuments out of failure. Time and time again, Brian Daboll-led NYG have faltered under the brightest lights. Now, is it all just a simple case of bad luck? Or should the NYG fandom be asking itself, what the f***? Welcome back, man. It's that guy AsBlueAsItGets. Back with the weekly discussion here in week 7. Denver, big time loss. We all know the story now. It's probably been written down in the annals as one of the greatest defeats ever on the face of the planet. And of course, the New York Giants have to be a part of that because that's what they seem to do as of late. As we get into that, though, we're going to discuss just what happened, I guess. I listened to a little bit of Shane Bowen post-game things or, prepping up for the Eagles game. And he was discussing some of the things that went on with as far as the personnel. And as we probably need to start discussing here, some of the performances out of our more noteworthy players, like Dexter Lawrence, necessarily haven't been a great highlight to have for the defense, even though there have been things going on with the edge and things like that. Some positive play. The interior has been okay, good, but just our name player right now, and somebody like Dex hasn't really been standing out as much. We've had other players like Robinson Harris, who has been playing very good football out there, along with Nugent Roches and 1 or 2 other DTs as well. So, there's some things, but we see that now in some of these situations here, it'd be nice to have that interior force that we are used to having with Dex show up in some of these games, and hopefully that'll be something that gets worked out in these next 2-3 games here, especially going against the Eagles, of course. Is it a personnel thing as far as Dex? It's probably more of a scheme thing. Like, Dex is such a great player, and to have such a great player like that just totally vanish is not really something that you see happen like that. So it's probably less of that. More it just working to the system, hopefully, with the edge present being more of an emphasis and trying to get turnover out of that. Now, the greater topic of this, I think, is probably, like I titled this, what the is going on with these games. These end of these games have proven to really be more difficult than the game itself and in its entirety for the Giants. This one singular thing of completing a game for them has been a sore point, not for just this season here, off the two noteworthy losses that we've had with the Cowboys and now the Denver Broncos, but in previous seasons as well, where the red zone efficiency was a big sore point, and even into this season, it started out a little shaky, but that was, the start of the season was rough. So maybe, that's been worked out now, which it seemingly kind of has. Just Jackson Dart out there and everything. But still in the game situations, Jackson Dart himself or Dexter Lawrence or, these players can have an impact in those game time situations, but they can't totally, abstain the team itself from how these collapses have really come about. It's the biggest thing I've been thinking of the last few days with the team is, the positive play that we are seeing, the more exciting results that we are seeing in games is a good thing, of course, but and something we look forward to just at the beginning of the season already. But this the way the team is unable to complete these games for victories is just is not something we want to carry into next season or finish carry into the rest of these games, but carry into next season as well as we're trying to build this foundation of a winning team with the talent that we have on the team right now. And there are good players like on the defense, uh, people who are players who are having pretty nice games at that time, like Dane Belton started the game pretty hot, man, a real great physicality on the field. Um, Safety play, of course, is the safety play and the cornerback play are the biggest things on the defense, of course, when it comes to trying to see it develop more or see more action out of it. And this season has seen some with Cordell Flop, Andrew Phillips, uh, Kyle Newman in some cases when tackling came into play. Almost had an interception himself, I believe, early in the season. And then recently, this last game with Dane Belton. It's it's really tough to see where the team will end up at the end of the season with these cases of the team collapsing thing because it's so they're making historic breaks with these. That the Denver collapse was historic. Or in one in 1,500 plus, team. These are things that the Giants have really had a habit of making for themselves throughout these years, to include back to quarterback Daniel Jones, whoever plays having good there, we're getting good players. So that's we're not, this is this team. But just to say, what was the constant there now, and now no longer Jones is here, is Brian Daboll on the coaching staff and what's going on with, that and Joe Schoen and personnel choices, whatever else is what's remaining from that. And what's remaining right now on the team, even though some of the bad parts have been getting resolved, it seems, especially on the offense, with QB play, um, is a defensive collapse in the fourth quarters, the seemingly questionable play calling or timeout usage, maybe, or forcing the other team's timeout usage, maybe, in those end game situations. And most of those things probably fall on Ryan Daboll and Shane Bowen, and Mike Kafka in there somewhere in the mix. But I think that's really the thing I'm trying to see changed up when it comes to this Eagles game this Sunday. And if it is another competitive game, which I look forward to it being, hopefully, and if it's another situation where we're on top late in the game, like to say they shut them out, and then it like that, that's crazy to see in a back-to-back game. So we're not going to talk about that. But like to have them up and then to let a victory slip away like this game here or something like how the Dallas game was would not be a good look. And then the Saints in this is the preparation for the team as far as turnovers and it's not just playing sloppy football. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Hope y'all enjoyed this small little bit on the weekly discussion. Really is a weekly discussion, open discussion. I give my opinion on it, but I'm also open to hearing other people's thoughts on it, of course. You can leave those comments down below, how y'all feel about it. You're not gonna really hear much indifference from me, about your opinion. I'll be interested to hear it. It's just that I might not, to say right now, so much season ago, there are no definites for this team right now. As we saw the Denver game was supposed to be a definite win with 90+% win chances and coming away with 0 wins. So he's out. Big